all Knicks up family. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good with everybody tonight? Welcome back to another episode of the All Knicked Up podcast. Clearly, this being a very special show, given that we know what time it is. If you don't know what time it is, you're not a Knicks fan right now. So get off the station if you're not a Knicks fan right now, because we all know what today is today. And hopefully it's a day of glory and hopefully of bliss. We'll see how this truly goes as opening for the opening of the season. You know, New York Knicks with great aspirations, as we know. Every New York Knicks fan knows what time it is. We are seeking a championship or die. We're going to get a little bit into it. You know, the game starts in a little bit less than an hour. I think one of our boys is actually attending the game. So I'm going to bring in my other partner right here from upstate. I call him Big Cuff. Y'all don't need to know why I call him Big Cuff, but that's Big Cuff. You can call him Upstate Joe. Upstate Joe, what's good, brother? How you doing tonight?
Opening night, baby.
Opening night. Seemed like it went by kind of quick, right? The summer flew, and now we're back in business again.
It did.
Yeah. A lot of butterflies probably tonight for New York Knicks fans, us included. I'm more than sure. You know, every game is important to the New York Knicks fan. We don't care if it's game 1 or game 82. We want to win them all. And when we lose more than one, we have question marks about the validity of our team. That's exactly what we do, because in New York, we're extremists. What else is we? We're extremists and a little bit outlandish and damn well crazy, probably, with how we feel in love for the Knicks. And it's always an emotional roller coaster when we get together and talk in community, or even while we're sitting on our couches by ourselves, yelling at the TV, but just not wanting to break it because TV is too damn expensive to replace nowadays. So that's what we're dealing with at this point in juncture. How you feel tonight, Joe? You know, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers, you know, a team that we were unable to beat, clearly, from last season. We know that there were some parts of the Knicks obviously missing. But I wanted to theme this episode or this show as us looking into the future. That's why I named it Knicks Pregame Psychics.
I got you.
Here on the cusp of a new season with some question marks that we'll get into before the game even starts. Isn't it magic? Question marks before a Knicks game starts. The hell would have thought that, right? But how you feel about tonight? We're going in. We know what the drill is. Championship or bust. How you feeling tonight?
I'm just excited to have it come back on. You know, wait, I got to pass.
Hold on. We've been into it. There's only so
Mike
much.
Mike Diamond from the Beastie Boys. I got to pass the mic.
And you can't get on and get don't stop. You want to stop. What's up, Eric?
What's going on?
Can you tell the people? I mean, I'm looking. I did kind of tip the hand here, but I don't know. We're looking at the wardrobe change. You know, I don't know. It's a little orange. I think I see Spike the damn train. Where you heading, Eric? Let the people know where you're.
Yes, I'm on my way to opening night, Madison Square Garden. Heading my way there now on the train. I figured I'd hop on, give you that few minutes, what you were talking about. So what's up?
Oh, man, we just kicking the can down the field. Had a little technical issue. I had to get back into the boot, so started a little late, but not too bad.
We'll see you about 5 minutes in. We're good.
Yeah, we're kind of good. We was going over. I told Joe I'm channeling our psychic ability tonight. You know, it's pregame for the beginning of the season. Obviously, we all know what the expectations are. You're actually riding into the expectations, so we should really get an idea of what the mood is like in the Garden tonight, being that we have Donovan Mitchell coming in. I don't know if that will kind of draw up the kind of further than maybe Boston would, or Indiana coming in, but still a legitimate team. A lot of us Knicks fans kind of look past it. You're going into the game now. You know, do you feel any excitement? Is the train too empty to kind of get a feel about what's going on? Any other orange guys out there? What's going on, brother? How you feel?
I am seeing some Knicks fans on the train.
Uh-huh.
I'm in the very last car because I had to run to catch it. so I'm in the very last. Yeah. So I don't know about the rest of the train, but I mean, once I get in, maybe I'll hop on. If you guys are still on, maybe I'll hop on a little bit and try and give you guys a bit of the vibe of what's going on at the Garden. But I mean, I'm excited. I mean, I'm a little worried about the quote unquote injuries, if they're really injuries or not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
little concerned about that. But yeah, I'm excited. I mean, we all should be. We should be excited after last season. The team has expectations. And Cleveland is one of the teams that is a good barometer for the Knicks. So I think it's a good matchup. It's a good opening night game,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this game.
Yeah, this should be setting the table. I mean, I'm not sure. We'll see extremes one way or another. If the Knicks win, we can't be stopped. If they lose, fire everybody.
Exactly. Exactly. It'll be the typical reaction.
I'm personally looking forward to one of those first win of the season overreactions where all the fans spill out onto Broadway.
I will take video of that because the last game I went to was the playoff game that they beat Boston and they won.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
That was the last. Yeah. So yes. So if I see something similar, I definitely will record it because we all know how they get after just one stupid game in the season.
They're gonna climb the Statue of Liberty, start painting the orange. This is gonna be
and I'm wondering if the Empire State Building is going to be orange and blue tonight. I'll see if I'll take a picture of that as well if I see that.
Nice. Well, this is a city of the Knicks. I mean, some of us are fans, and we kind of get the feel of that. And it is definitely nostalgic when it's in the Bronx. And I'm a Yankee fan. We've all cited our televisions listening to Frank Sinatra. But make no doubt about it, this is a Knicks city, and when the Knicks are important, the city's just a buzz. And this is what we have right now, a huge buzz in New York. And I don't recall a season like this where we've had this kind of expectations coming in. And it's pretty refreshing, but at the same time, a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. It's again, with expectations, everything's raised. So every game now is heightened because we are expected to win every time they play. We know that's not going to happen, but the expectations are there for that. So I'm interested to see the vibe when I step in there, the building, how people are feeling. I'm assuming it's going to be what I'm saying. Like everyone's going to be, we're going east, right? That's what we're going to get. So
you're definitely going to get the reaction. That's what I'm saying. I think that it definitely is going to be something in the air. Phil Collins kind of something in the air where we're going to hear tonight because, we've been looking forward to, basically our revenge tour, I guess is what you want to really call this. We fell a little short, obviously, last year, and I think our expectations got a little bit more heightened, I should say, when we beat Boston. Everybody's like, oh, I mean, I was one of them. Like, oh, well, of course you're going to beat Indiana. Are you kidding me? You can't get this close.
We all thought that.
And not, sip from the cup of life. We're going to the finals. And, I was thinking, wow, a few more games. Could you imagine a few more games? And then we know how all that went down. So this year, these guys have a lot to prove. I think not only to themselves, but to the Knicks fan base and the NBA world when looking at what we went through last year and basically the meltdown. That's what it was. It was a huge meltdown at the wrong time. And now you have expectations. And Mike Brown, I said, has the hottest seat for any coach I've ever seen who never coached a game. This is where we are. His expectations are so high, and he never even coached a Knicks game.
Yeah.
What do you
because
think?
Of the situation.
Yeah. What do you think, Joe? You think what people are thinking from Mike Brown is should his seat be that damn hot coming in?
It's New York, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what somebody told me. Don't sign up for it.
You're captain of your team. You're on the hot seat pretty much.
Yeah.
If you're not, check it back again next week. That comes along with it. It's a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mike Brown, though, I people are going to have to be patient, I think, in the beginning. I mean, you're instituting an offense, which apparently is not an offense. It's not really anything. It's what we accused Tibbs of last year, basically, which is just free form. Do what the game tells you, basically. The game will tell you what to do. I'm really interested to kind of see how long it takes this team to really hit its stride. Because again, we don't have major roster changes. We got some new guys coming in off the bench. But again, different way of playing, different coach, all of those things. But, the Knick I'm going to be watching the most closely, particularly tonight, is going to be Mikal Bridges. I have a feeling we're going to see a very, very different Mikal Bridges. And that's been advertised by Brown. He's been talking about that. He's one of the top 3 runners in the league, and, use him differently. So I've been kind of buying into that hype. I think Bridges is going to have a very good season and a return to form. We'll see if that pans out. I've been wrong before. But I like that it's against a quality opponent. Now we have some injuries right now. Some people that aren't going to play. From what I understand, there's Mitch potentially not playing, Hart potentially not playing. And I've heard whispers about Cat, but I've heard deviating things to and from whether or not he'll play. You're also playing against a big, long team in the front court. So how they adapt to that, will Huck Porty get some minutes, and we'll see how he, can hold himself against 2 premier big men. I like this poll for an opening day because, as Eric was mentioning, this is kind of sort of what we've been kind of theorizing will be there at the end of the game, whereas the end of the season, staring at us in the Eastern Conference Finals. Historically, when it's mattered, we'd play them well, but this is a team that can also give anybody fits. Their bench is also a lot improved. Good coaching. I know Eric's been a really, really big fan for a long time of Kenny Atkinson. It's a solid team, so we'll see how it goes. But again, I'm going to be watching Bridges really closely these first couple of games.
Well, I like it that you brought up, as you can see my title change here, Cat of Nine Tails. A little play on words there because we're hearing all kinds of things from Karl-Anthony Towns. Let's start with his health for one thing, not from him in particular. But the team has just been a little bit suspect. Not that we're shocked on whether he's hurt, whether he's Hoyt, whether he's not Hoyt. We don't know what the hell's going on with him. Only we know that he's been questionable and maybe he's not available. And now we hear he is available. I think Eric's gone. He probably got a bad signal.
Yeah, so he froze there for a bit.
Yeah, he's a froze. And Mr. Freeze wanted to. He's watching too much Batman.
The Long Island Railroad ain't great for reception.
Nah, hell no. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to take a picture when I get in." I was like, "You're going to go in the dark." Like, that's not going to last, buddy. But it's a nice effort on your behalf. But good luck. Hopefully, you bring some luck to the game, Eric. We're hearing all these things about Karl-Anthony Towns. We watch a little bit of the presser where he was, asked about his role.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And I must say, I mean, when I first heard it, I kind of dismissed it and said, well, maybe he's playing a little bit coy with the media. Then, what ends up happening? You start hearing more about it, and everybody has their way of dissecting what's being said, and obviously is an overreach from Knicks fans and probably from media also to kind of say, well, what is he really feeling? What is his emotional meter? I mean, he could have literally just been tired of answering questions and decided that maybe I don't want to, leave me alone kind of thing. But what we did hear was him saying that I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know how I'm supposed to fit in. And when hearing those kind of things, I liken it to hearing what Mikal Bridges said in his presser. And his presser was a lot more different than that of Karl-Anthony Towns because just to, kind of abbreviate it, he spoke glowingly about knowing what he was supposed to do. He spoke glowingly about how he felt about the team concepts. The thing he did say was that, it's going to take us some time. But Mike Brown tends to overly inform you about your role. It's what we're hearing from Mikal. So I'm like, well, he says that I think Mikal also, someone can correct me, but I believe he did say that Mike Brown makes it a point to go to each individual, kind of let him know what he wants from them and what his expectations, and has no problem getting on players. Said not in an egregious, nasty way, but in a way of letting you know you're not doing something right and that he has greater expectations for you. So, of course, hearing these things and then hearing what Karl-Anthony Towns said, and then the mode or the mood in which he told it, I had to rethink it a little bit. I'm like, is this him saying that I'm not feeling this already?
It's significant.
Is this is this early rebellion? Is he pulling from the light-skinned vibes of Matt Barnes, who had nothing nice to say about Mike Brown?
No, he didn't.
Like, is he channeling? I mean, from Craig said it was, light-skinned energy. We'll kind of chalk it up. Say those kind of things. Maybe it's light-skinned energy, but however, we're looking still at the totality of the context and the character of what he said. Sound like a malcontent. That's what it sounded like. After revisiting, hearing other players speak differently, we heard Porty speak differently. Those were the two guys I watched their interviews. Completely different from what Carl was saying. What is your thoughts about, and tonight not in possibly playing also, what did you read on Karl Anthony Towns right now?
All right, I got plenty of thoughts on that, actually. It's significant. He doesn't play cutesy LeBron games talking-wise. That's not kind of who he's been historically. What I've understood about the offense three months ago or 2 months ago is different from what I understand about the offense right now. And what I understand now about the offense is there's going to be a lot of read and react. Hopefully there'll be more distribution of the ball. I've said this a million times that your offense should not flow through two players, that you should engage everybody in the offense. You're harder to defend, harder to game plan, all of those things. But it's going to affect touches, right? So this is one of those things. Some guys deal with structure better than not. Like me personally, when I played basketball in the limited capacity I did as a young man, I wanted to rebound, get the ball out, and transition.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? That was my entire game. I liked unstructured basketball. I didn't want anybody calling plays. I went down the block, did my thing. It didn't matter what the play was.
Gotcha.
But some guys need structure, need stuff called for them. And some people are very accustomed to having things called for them, right? Now, my concern with Mike Brown is he has never coached a player like Karl Anthony Towns. Look at the rosters he's had. He has not had anyone that significant with that skill set. I mean, few people have at that position.
Exactly.
He's never had to run an offense significantly through that position. I mean, look at his rosters.
You're right.
There have been several. Does he know how to coach and get the best out of Karl Anthony Towns? Is he going to have to figure that out? Is right now this just open flow thing just to get chemistry going, just to analyze for the coach to analyze how things fit, how people move and everything like that. And then he's going to break the playbook out of his backpack, bring it in, which would be stupid, but
yeah,
who knows at this point. But I think Karl was just with a coach that coached him twice, knew his game, knew him, knew how to coach him, and he's walking into a situation right now with a lot of uncertainty and without a true point guard.
Yeah, well,
let's not forget that. I mean, if we're distributing and moving the ball and everything like that, a good point guard's going to go, I need to get big man involved. He's gone too long without touching it.
Yeah.
If you're just doing this freeform stuff, you're hitting the open man, making snap judgments, and not figuring out, am I feeding dude appropriately?
Exactly.
So this is a Mike Brown thing. I think it's great that you're going to make OG Anunoby potentially and Mikal Bridges a bigger part of the offense, but that takes from other people, and especially if you're decreasing touches, you have to be more strategic about making sure that the person you're taking touches away gets touches, because that could fall into a spiral really quick. And he's not that kind of player. I mean, he's been the offensive focus of every team he's ever played for. So I could see why he's like, what am I doing? What's my role? What do you mean just go out and play? Like, what is that? So it is significant, and I thought it was significant as soon as I saw it.
Yeah, no, I'm going to agree with you, because I had to double back and kind of listen to the language that was used. And like I said, listening to Mikal Bridges speak, You brought up a great point. You said about touches, and I laughed because I'm like, well, if Karl Anthony Towns is not getting touches, then what is Karl Anthony Towns? Literally. I mean, that's the question of the year when you think about him as a player. He's noted to get his shots. That's what he's here. He's a juggernaut on offense. He's shown he can rebound.
Yeah, he's not there to be building beer.
Yeah, so you see more of that coming into his game, but make no qualms about it. He's not there to block shots.
No.
He's there to score 30, 40 points is the easiest thing. I liken it a little bit to Carmelo Anthony when, Melo was here. My biggest knock on Melo wasn't about whether Melo could play basketball. It was sometimes his mental approach to the game. Is I always felt like he left so much food on the plate that he could have been eating also. I like complete players. That's the one thing I've always liked about basketball is those guys who are willing to do a little bit or a lot of everything. And, it just helps with the whole team concept. But we know Karl wants to shoot threes. We know he wants to attack the basket, come into the basket. These are things that he wants to do. Oh, we got a mobile Eric. This is T-Mobile.
E-mobile.
I'm loving the sweatshirt, dude.
Yeah, that shirt's dope, man. I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, so I am here. I am outside Madison Square Garden. I just arrived. I figured I would hop on.
So Eric.
Yes.
You are officially, as they say now, you're officially outside.
Yes. I decided to not just go up through, how you can just go through Penn Station and go up. I said, let me go out to the front of the garden and walk in this way. So that's what I'm doing.
Nothing like walking into the garden and you're about to see a basketball game. I'm New York biased. I don't have no problem telling anyone that, but if you come to New York and watch sports, you'll understand why. It's just a whole vibe about going into the city, especially when you getting off the train and you're going in the pen. No better feeling than that. So we were talking about Karl Anthony Towns and his role with Mike Brown and the question marks. Joe brought up a great point. He was saying about maybe he's concerned about his touches, and I was like, well, I think that's a very key thing. What is Karl Anthony Towns without getting touches? So if his touches are limited, and Mike Brown has been known to he's wanted wings more than I want wings from Wingstop. He's wanted wings. Lemon pepper. I can't be mad at lemon pepper ever. But think about how much he wanted wings in Sacramento to the point where. That's one of the reasons many people think he went way deep down the bench just to find someone who resembled the Wade. Now he's got two of probably the best two ways when you look at it, at least top 5 two-way wings in the league. And he's probably salivating right now, like, oh, I got what I've always wanted. Sorry, Karl. Probably just said, well, Karl, you'll be Sabonis right now. Come on, give those wings this handout. On a pick and move the hell out the way and learn to rebound. Because it seems like to me that might be what's more going on than we think, is that Karl Anthony Towns has a role and it's not the role that he's accustomed to.
Yeah, I didn't read too much into the comments just because, like I said yesterday, I feel like he's just trying to say everything is so new and different that I don't really know what I'm going to, where I fit in yet. Mm-hmm. And it could be what you're saying. It's very possible. It could be that he's now going to be relegated to a lesser offensive role where he gets less touches. But it'd be kind of malpractice if he didn't get his touches because, as you guys said, that's what he brings to the team. So you want to get him his touches on offense, and you want to put him in positions where he can score. But I think that, like to Joe's point before, I think in the early going, it's going to be a lot of adjustment, and we're going to be seeing a lot of things that we didn't see last year, and we're going to have to adjust as fans to the expectations that we have of these players. I mean, maybe Brunson doesn't get the same number of shots. Who knows? We don't know, but maybe Brunson will have to be more of a facilitator in this offense. I don't know what to expect, but I do think that comment to me was kind of like, because he said we'll figure it out. I think that's what it was. They're still figuring everything out, and that's how I interpreted it.
Well, I have to say one thing though. if Towns doesn't get his touches within a couple of weeks, the fans and the media are going to beat him up and take his lunch.
Big time.
Eat it in front of him.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
They will. I mean, at his stage of his career, you can't really ask him to do something, become a defensive player, or you can't ask him. He's well entrenched in what he does. So maybe slight adjustments here, but he is what he is. And I agree with Joe. Like if he's not getting his touches and not putting up the numbers he got accustomed to last year, he's going to be the first person they come down upon, because he already is the first person they come upon. That's gonna be just magnified.
And what is not helping is what we've talked about ad nauseum, and we keep bringing up, is there's some Greek food in Milwaukee. Let me tell you one thing. I would never think Milwaukee had great Greek food. It would never be a place I would associate that with. But I know it's pretty damn good in New York because I eat a lot of Greek food. I'm just saying, Carl, if you don't want to go and be with the cheeseheads, I think you might wanna just do what you need to do, because I think that, because we've heard the little bit of contingency from Knicks fans who was like, well, who are we sending? Not if we should, who are we sending? Because there's a lot of Knicks fans, they want the big name, and clearly he has a lot of names in the whole alphabet on his back of his jersey. So you want a big name and the Koopa?
Yeah.
Every syllable and every vowel on Wheel of Fortune, you can get that dude. And then fans are salivating because now you hear, like you said, after so long, you heard somebody want to be a Knick that happens to be a superstar. So Carl, I like Carl. I'm not even advocating to get Giannis, but it's more so there's going to be a little bit of a rumble about getting Giannis because he's a former MVP and he has the accolades. You know, I wouldn't trust him in a close game. If you can foul him and take him out of the game, I wouldn't want him in that way. But however, Carl Stuffers, that's going to start getting louder. Sorry, Jeff.
Eric, I have to ask you, because we talked about this in, I think, our first show in which you were absent. We went into the whether or not with Giannis situation. What is your take on that?
What do you mean? Do I think it's inevitable he's coming here? Is that the question?
Do you think it's a wise move? Trading for him?
I mean,
throw in any theoretical kind of equation as to what the return was for him. Imagine what that is if you would do it.
What they're going to have to give up for him is ridiculous. Is a lot. Like, they're going to have to give up a lot, and I don't know if they have that, honestly, to give up for him at the moment. So from that perspective, I'm not sure they can get him, but just from a theoretical perspective, I mean, he's one of the best players in the league. Why would you not want to bring him in? I mean, Ty makes a good point. He can't shoot free throws, so you don't fouling him at the end of the game is kind of a plan for another team. But I mean, everything else he brings, he's a two-way player. You guys know I talk about two-way players all the time. I love two-way players. He's one of the best. I think you would be silly not to try and get him. Now, what you have to give up to bring him in, that could hurt the team.
Yeah.
So it's
again trying to fill in the gaps of what you traded.
Right. It's a really big ask. And I don't know if it would be beneficial for the way the team is constructed now to have another guy. He's going to need the ball, going to need to dominate the ball. I just don't know if it's the smartest move to make. But obviously you see the benefits of doing it if that's the way they decide to go. So.
All right. It's definitely an interesting get when you think about Giannis. I mean, the motor-wise, I can never not admire how he plays the game.
Of course.
It's so New Yorkish. It's so everything we get out of Brunson and we get out of Josh Hart that we love about those kind of players. And I have no doubt that if Giannis came here, he'd be mega. He'd be the most revered Knick in a very long time. He brings absolutely everything on both ends that Knicks fans love, that we fall in love with as basketball players. Obviously, his some of his fundamentals is what is the flaw. Like, will he get most cheered and stabbed probably at some point on the court? Absolutely, because clutch moments, he probably got to win. Oh, look at that! There you go. You go, orange and blue.
There it is.
There you go. So I don't know. I mean, it's going to be hard to pass up a guy who's MVP. It's just a tough thing. And I was wondering. Now we talk about Karl-Anthony Towns and what I felt was a little bit malcontent when revisiting what he looked like. I was questioning. I told Eric in the thread earlier. I said, I might do a Dwayne Rock Johnson eyebrow. He's missing out of tonight's game because I'm just wondering why this guy is out. Is this he's heard something about him not being here? Why are these guys?
Officially, it's a quad, but that's our medical staff.
Is he riding the quad?
Is he officially out again? Because they said he was probably going to play.
I don't. It's been.
I've heard both sides of it, but I've heard that the injury of question was a quad.
Yeah. So it is a question. Like that was one of the first titles I brought up was Cat of Nine Tails. It's not just so much about his press conference, but it's also the stories you're hearing. Like what is going on with the Knicks? That's why my next segue is grave danger ahead. I mean, we're hearing about the injuries. I mean, what they were honored last year for having the best medical staff. Now you're seeing Mitchell Robinson looking like Mitch, like old Mitch of old, because this is getting old. You don't know when this guy's going to play or be available. And now, we know Josh Hart had his issues with his surgery, back issues. Not much you can do about that. But anybody who's had a back issue or way, you're just kind of screwed. You just got to wait your turn and hope that you feel better. But now we're hearing about Karl-Anthony Towns now. What is going on with the Knicks? Are you guys as concerned as I'm starting to get concerned hearing these guys are suddenly not available on day one? We go from not playing at all during some of the preseason, now all of a sudden they're unhealthy. How do you guys feel about that?
It's not the way you want to start a season off, But you'd rather be going through this stuff now than in, May, June. It is what it is at this point. I mean, they've already said that they're going to load manage, Mitch to an extent, which is a term that we are not used to around these parts. Yeah, we have not heard that kind of talk. We both, Ty, last week said, sit Hart down and get him right. We don't need him now. Get him right. Cat is the one that, sends the cold stab of fear down my spine when I hear something going on with him because he's vital, I think, to what we're trying to do, more so than either of those two other guys. I don't know. It's funny, man. We're sitting here right on the precipice of the season, and there's so many things to question and interpret and wonder about, but we'll get a feel for that over the next couple of games. But no, it's not the way you want to start a season off, and you want to see everybody come out, you want to see everybody be healthy, productive off season, ready to contribute and ready to roll. But again, I've said this several times. I'm not going to repeat it again past this. I don't think this team is going to start off well. Yeah. So if we got to get this out of our system now, so be it.
I agree. What are your thoughts, Eric, on the injury reports that we're hearing from Karl-Anthony Towns? And obviously we know Mitch, what I call him Groundhog Day, every year, same time, this dude is going to be injured. We hear the same stories, like you're getting accustomed to it. And also, I don't know, what's your concern level about definitely Karl-Anthony Towns, the concern level about how he's doing right now?
Well, I said in the chat before that I don't believe anything the Knicks staff tells me about any injuries because that's just how I've always felt about the team. The team, So I don't know what to really believe at this point. I mean,
true.
Mitch, like you said, this is just part of the course for Mitch. This is what he does. So the fact that they're starting the season off with quote unquote load management, whatever that means, it's a stage. The season hasn't started yet. What load he possibly had. So I don't know what that means at this point, but okay, you can't even play the first game.
That's a load of ish. That's what that is. A load of ish.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good point. Of course, you're concerned. Like we talked about last week. Like those are two of their key players, three of their key players. and Towns is their second best player. So of course it's a concern. You're worried about it. That it's starting out this season this way. But again, I don't know what to believe because the Knicks will tell you that the guy has a jammed finger and they wound up being broken and having surgery like the next day. So I don't know what to believe whenever they tell me stuff. I don't believe them. So they're so cryptic about not only injuries, but they're cryptic about everything. The organization's cryptic about telling the public everything. It's really hard for me to get a gauge on how serious it is. Yeah. So I just go with the fact that if they say it's not serious, it probably is. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. So on that note, guys, I'm going to leave. I'm going to head inside now to go watch the game. I'm glad I was able to hop on and chat with you guys for a bit. I will sending you messages while I'm in the arena. Let you know what's going on. I'll take some pictures, take some videos of the vibe, and I'll share them with you guys later.
Quick question: how many wins this year?
I'm gonna go 55.
Gotcha. All right, buddy. Enjoy.
That's where I'm at.
Have a great time.
Thank you.
All right.
Go Knicks.
Yeah. That's the next segue question. Numerology. I put it up. What are your thoughts on? You've nailed it like for the last couple of years. So I'm actually going to completely defer to you because for 2 years straight, I think you've nailed it right on the head.
I didn't get it last year, but I was close. But I called it the year before, like to the win.
Okay.
I'm going to go 51 wins. I'm going to go lower than that. I don't think we're going to start off well. Mm-hmm. I think there's going to be growing pains. I have a feeling we're going to deal with potentially a significant, not a season ending, but a significant injury to someone. I don't think we're going to be particularly high seed, maybe fourth seed, 51 wins, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
but
I have a
dangerous in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not too far from you. I think I have it at 53. I had it at earlier today, with the same concerns that I'm just not dumb enough to sit there and believe that we're going to come out the gates and start rolling people. This is going to be a work in progress. You know, this is a warning shot, and I think age comes with wisdom. That's how it should work. I think we've all been down this road before, and knowing if you watched enough basketball, these things take a lot of time to get going. You have a new coach, you have a new system, you have some new players. People always liken to talk back to when Bron, Wade, and Bosh got together in Miami. It didn't start, I think it was 8 and 9, how they started out, you know, and eventually they caught on, and obviously they ended up in the NBA Finals. They didn't win, but they ended up there. This team has those same expectations, and I'm not sure they'll give a little bubble gut to some Knicks fans who are expecting us to just, you know, waltz right back into the Eastern Conference Finals, you know, and say, oh, this was a fluke. Well, you know, I don't think that I think you have to look at the complete picture. You want to be healthy going in to the playoffs. You want to have your key pieces healthy, obviously. That's the most important thing. You need a heavy dose of Mitchell Robinson in order to make this thing completely work. You clearly need Jalen Brunson. Yeah. You know, Carlton Towns was brought here for a reason, albeit we've seen Brunson kind of, you know, levy the load when Julius has been out for those couple of years that he was out there in the playoffs when he was needed the most. This team is more talented. Yeah. So we do know that this is a playoff team and it's a postseason team. This was not built to break a 72-10 or 73-9 by the Warriors. This is not that team. Those teams take a long time to kind of manifest, and you got to put certain player on that team to get those kind of things in a working unit. So I got 53, 51. I mean, I wouldn't even argue with that. That sounds more accurate. And the seeding sounds more accurate too, because I don't think we're going to win the Eastern Conference. No. I don't think we're reserved for that. I think teams that have had continuity, not a lot of change.
You mean the first seed in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, the first seed. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I think we're winning the Eastern Conference.
I think we want to win. I think we can win. I'm sorry. Yeah, having the first seed, the number one seed. I don't think it's something that if you land there, it's great. I don't think it's if you don't get there because I think home court matters as much as it used to at one point, especially with this team. This team has proven that they played on the road way better than they played at home. I mean, it's a little different dynamic, but I trust them to get the job done no matter where they have to play. So
home court's like getting your free fries with your burger kind of thing. It's nice to have, but it's not necessary.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I think for the slow start, just expanding on what we were talking with Towns, and I've been thinking this for a while, is we have had very established roles on this team for a long time.
Yeah.
Now we don't, and people are going to have thoughts about that, and that's going to have to get figured out.
Yeah.
And that's going to take time, and it's going to be, in my mind, the most significant challenge that Mike Brown is going to face in the first 2 months of the season.
Oh,
so we'll see how he stands up to it, man.
I agree, because I even look at a guy like Jalen Brunson, and Jalen's been extremely adaptable. I mean, a little bit of what we're seeing, he's being
a soldier,
is what he did in Dallas with Luka, because I think people kind of forget that, Luka was the star there. Jalen came along and became a star, with the playoffs and when Luka went out. So we now realize, obviously, as Knicks fans, how special he is. But he was the second guy. He wasn't the first guy on that team. So I think Jalen's going to be able to defer more and probably appreciate what he has to do, because I think at the end of the day, he's all about winning. I don't think it looks like. He's never given any indication that he cares what it looks like. He's no frills. He just wants to win big. When I think about Carl, and I've said this in the past, I've said during press conferences, during the playoffs, or whatever, I said Carl's having a lot of fun. Yeah. And I laugh about that.
Much fun, if I remember you saying correctly.
Carl's having way too much fun. I'm looking at him, I'm like, dude, man, you might want to at least have a arched eyebrow or something, because I'm like, they're
going to Josh Hart lessons.
Yeah, it's like they're gonna take that the wrong damn way, because you're looking at Josh plays off of Jalen's seriousness, and Josh is the clown. But I don't think nobody ever questioned when Josh is on the floor. Anything that he provides other than the shooting, we have a question mark about. People question, so to say. I'm a fan of Josh, but
me too.
Carl. We look at Carl. We know what the talent is. We know what the talent he brings. We like, this dude can get 50 in his sleep, snoring with drool cup. This is just who he is. But the parts of New York, when New York fans want, is not all that Carl Towns delivers.
They want the snarl.
Yeah, they want to see the grittiness. They want to see him snatch some rebounds like in a Zion-esque form. They want to see him looking like he's trying to jam somebody's shot at the rim. And Carl sometimes is looking like Carl. Carl's like, I'll be all right. I'm going to bodega, get me a little sandwich at the bodega, a little chopped cheese. We'll be back tomorrow. And that casual attitude sometimes can work against you in this market where no one ever questions if Jalen's serious. So that's the one thing I say about Carl. He needs to kind of, you got to give that effort and show that you give a damn. I know he cares. It's just more so these questions.
I don't think it's an effort thing, but again, New York expects a certain ferocity on its players.
Big time.
We expect a certain ferocity. We take this seriously. We want them to take it seriously too.
Yeah.
It's very natural to see somebody kind of with those mannerisms and the big smile and everything like that going, where's the killer?
Yeah.
You just be playing better if you wanted to tear his head off. Where's your head at?
Yeah.
It's a New York fan way of thinking, but yeah. You brought it up last year, and I was like, you know what? He's right, man.
A lot of fun.
He's having too much fun.
It's fun. And I'm like, dude,
Minnesota, dude.
It reminds me a little bit of A-Rod. When A-Rod came to the Yankees.
That is a really good comparison.
And everybody knew A-Rod was special, thought to be the best shortstop in baseball, one of the best ever at the time before, getting allegations of the steroids. However, as you know, I'm a huge Yankee fan. Damn sure a huge Derek. I got a picture with Derek Jeter. I'm a huge. I don't star stalk anybody. I'm usually like, whatever. He's a man like I'm a man or whatever. However, I was a fanboy when I saw Jeter.
Mm-hmm.
when he came, this is what he's dealing with now. You got Jalen Brunson, who's more Jeter-like.
Yeah.
New York fans.
All business.
All business, whatever. We know what he's going to do and deliver, and he's clutch on top of it. When A-Rod came here, everybody's like, he's got a beautiful swing, except when it's popping the ball up and he's looking like, oh, darn. Another foul ball. And, Carl kind of has that demeanor where I think he's going to have to definitely be very careful because, like I said, there's Greek food in Milwaukee, and they are, and New Yorkers are hungry. I don't know. Well, we might be starving. I don't even think it's hunger anymore. It's just complete starvation. And now knowing that we are a little bit closer is what we see. I'm going to transition to this because I know the game's pretty much going to start pretty soon. Fortune teller's vision. We talked about what is the expectations, and we can be very quick about that. What do you foresee and what do you believe is going to be a successful season for the Knicks this year?
Title.
My man.
This is their window.
I believe
that. Now, granted, there will be a mini window next year as certain players are working their way back from an Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
This is their window.
This is their window. I'm going to endorse it completely.
And health permitting, they have a real shot this year to win the NBA title. I believe that. Ty, I've been talking with you since 2010. I have never said that before.
No, you've never said it. You've never said it. Because I said it last year. I said title. And I know it sounded crazy, but I'm like, well, I don't see where they got a weakness. I couldn't find anything to say why you can't win one. Pretty much what I've said was it was Thibodeau. I was worried about his ability to be that coach.
Yeah, the Prince of Darkness ain't here no more. We can't blame him anymore.
So now it's really the players and Mike Brown. And more, the players are probably never going to get blamed as much, but they're the ones, some of them, I'm not saying all, wanted change. They wanted a different voice. They wanted a different whatever. I'm going to show one of those people was Bridges. The second one probably OG. You were like, hey, we play basketball too, because you're starting to see those dudes actually ramp up and thrive in this system. But yeah, you have a championship team in New York. Don't let someone tell you something different, New York Knicks fans. That's what you have. The question mark is if healthy. That's the key thing. If healthy, I think landing any less than a title would be very much disappointing.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about winning the Eastern Conference this year. Yeah. I wanted to hear about that last year. Yeah. It's a title or bust this year. This is our window. I expect them to get out of the Eastern Conference. I still think Donovan Mitchell has Brunson PTSD from that Dallas-Utah series and the Knicks Cavs series.
Yes, he does.
So I'm not worried about them. I still think he's a little shaky about the whole, thing. And they haven't proven they can beat us when it matters.
No, I'm not worried about Cleveland whatsoever.
But I believe that we could beat Oklahoma City. I believe that we could beat Houston, although Houston's probably a worse matchup, I think.
Yeah.
I think we could beat Denver. I think we could win.
Oh, I agree.
Legitimately.
I agree. I don't think that there's a team when we discussed last show about the betting hand. Do we have a betting hand? And I said, I agree. I think if we don't have a royal flush, we have a full house or whatever. And I think our full house is better than anybody else's.
Kings and Jacks, baby.
Yeah, because when you're looking at it, it's like, well, what are the Knicks? I know Brogdon was a big thought process. If people wanted, even minus Brogdon, even minus him, a healthy New York Knicks team should win a title. A healthy. And anybody thinking less, I don't know what they've been paying attention to, because that's clearly what this team was built to do. And he's been now numbered as number 10 best player in the league. I think he's higher than that. I think he's like 5.
I think he's 5.
Yeah. So I don't want to hear about, guys are so much better. You've got one, New York, and you've got a great secondary player in Karl-Anthony Towns.
Top 15.
Yeah, top 15 player who, if he maxes out, could be an MVP himself if maxing out. If he maxes out his effort on both sides, he can easily do it on offense, but if he just gives a damn on defense, he could be a special player.
The thing with him that encourages me is that he lost that weight and he's another year removed from the meniscus repair.
Yes.
Which I think affected him last year.
Oh, I agree.
I think it affected him last year.
I agree. The weight loss definitely is. He's in great shape. So
I don't want to hear nothing about nothing, man. Title.
Yeah. We are in agreement, sir. We are in agreement. Absolutely. Well, I think the game is probably about to come on in a few. Yep. So here's to a great season coming up. Pray for health for our teams for the most part. We can come out of this thing 85% healthy. We're going to be in a great position. And let's pray for the improvements that we're taking off season. Mikal Bridges, I agree with you. I think he's going to have a big season.
I do.
OG, I think we'll see a little bit more from him. Definitely shooting-wise, I think his shot's going to be a lot better. So Brunson probably is going to be a little bit figuring out process, but I don't question whether or not Jalen is going to be a great basketball player. That's the least of my concern, but health being the first. But let's go, Knicks fans.
All right.
Let's go get it, and let's go beat these Cavaliers and see what's good. From Ty, that's Joe. All nicked up, signing off. Eric, bring us some luck, brother. Be good.